Hi, this is Lefty Dad with a video using PC Replay Baseball. I'm going to go to the 1980s Diamond Decades disc. I had been calling it the Diamonds disc in the past, but it's Diamond Decades. And this disc gives you all these great teams from the 1980s. And you can play a complete schedule with them. I'm going to play the first game of that schedule, and it'll be the 1983 Baltimore Orioles against the 86 Red Sox. So I will control in fact, I'm going to control the sound right off the bat because it would be too noisy. So you see, this is how you disable all the sound, and it has incredible sound. And this Al Wilson announces is really great. Look at it, announces all these things. I've listened to it tens of thousands of times, and it never bothers me. It's always very informative and a great feature. So now I've got the sound off. I'm also going to change it so that you can see the actual stats of the team and players that year. Okay, so I've got that taken care of. Now I go back here, and I'm going to control the Boston Red Sox. It'll be Scott McGregor on the mound against Oil Can Boyd, and they'll be playing at Fenway Park. There they are, the teammates from that David Halberstrom book about the 1949 season. Okay, here we are, and John Shelby will lead off. You can see that in 1983, he hit .258. Joe Altobelli, another great thing, if you're playing a regular season with PC Replay Baseball, is that if there's a manager change, you know, if they fire somebody or something happens, at some point in the season, whenever that happens, this will change. And in fact, you can go here, I think, to the team summary, and there's Joe, and you go to Boston, and who was the manager? John McNamara. So you get a picture, and you get the upcoming games here. Roger Clemens will pitch the next game of the series against Storm Davis, and Al Nipper against Mike Boddicker. And then it looks like the White Sox come to town. We don't know who's going to pitch in the third game of that series. So back to the game, and the first batter is John Shelby. So here we go. Oh, and I'm also going to change it so that it doesn't hurry right into the next batter. So if I want to point anything out, I'll be able to do that. Okay, John Shelby is hitting. That's going to be an infield single, and this is a direct port of the board game. Now, this will trigger what's called the base action chart. If you had the board game, you'd have a chart. This is brilliantly programmed so that these little things just pop up, so you don't have to, you know, point and click to go to some other chart to see what's happening. And, you know, obviously, if you don't have to have a physical copy of the chart, it's just there when you need it, then it's gone. So there'll be a 2 6-sided dice roll to see what happens here. Dan Ford is the next hitter, and the roll was a 4 and a 1, which totals 5, so that's a wild pitch possibility. You look up here to Oil Can Boyd, wild pitch rating is a 5. It can be between 1 and 6. The higher the number, the better. Oil Can Boyd, you'll have to roll a 6-sided die. The computer will do that. If it's a 6, it's a wild pitch. Otherwise, it's not a wild pitch. Ooh, just barely not a wild pitch. John Ford is up. Again, I'm not controlling Baltimore. So he's a good bunter. He's rated 2. 1 is the best. 6 is the worst. I don't think I've ever seen a 6. I think 5 is really the worst. Looking at the infield, you got Buckner, 86. I think that's when he made that error. And then there's Marty Barrett and Quinones and Wade Boggs, rated a 1 defensively. That's the best you can be. It's the opposite in the outfield. The higher the number, the better. In the infield, the lower the number, the better, including the pitcher. and with the catcher and the outfielders, the higher. So Rich Gedman is a 5. He's great. Dale Evans, is it Dale? Is a 4. Tony Armas is a 3, which is average. And Jim Rice is a 4. It's Darrell Evans, I think. Let's see. Now I've got to look this up. Okay, Evans. Dwight. Okay, well, I was wrong all across the board. Dan Ford. Now this is going to be a ball that they were trying for double play, and they were playing halfway, and this is the penalty that happens if you do that, and the unfortunate outcome is the ball you're playing in halfway, so it's harder to cut off a ground ball, and Marty Baird is a good infielder, but he couldn't do it. So Oil Can, who was 16-10 that year, 26 years old, you click on him, you can see the day he was born, from Meridian, Mississippi, his debut date, his height, weight, and how he throws. So incredible information at your fingertips. Cal Ripken is up, hit .318 that year. This is going to be the same instance. They were playing halfway for the double play, and this is the double play column. Any other number in this column would have been a double. This could have been an error, this 11, but all these ones, even the 5, would have been a double play. But this big number, 18, and you can even see it down here, 18 plus 3 equals 21, or totals 21. So 21 single off infielder's glove. If it had been 1 and a 4, it would have been a double play. So, and it looks like the ball hit off Buckner into the foul area, and the runner on second was able to go all the way to home and score. So Oil Can is down 1-0, and I think that is a unearned, oh no, it's an earned run. Yeah, because it's not an error, it's just off the glove. Okay, this is going to be a hit. So Baltimore is coming out swinging, they're up 2-0. This game has a feature where if there's an algorithm or a formula or something in the board game, you have to figure all this out, but the computer does it for you. And if a pitcher gets into too much trouble, it's possible that they'll get an early hook. And if this happens, you'll see. But this is a great feature of the game. I don't think any other game has anything like it. So you do have pitchers get into pressure situations where they could just completely collapse, but that if they don't collapse, if they can make it through, then they won't have to go through this early hook challenge again. But anyway, Ken Singleton is up 276 that year, and he is going to bunt. And he is an average bunter, but he also hits into a lot of double plays. 35 is a double play, all these ones. So we'll see now, total up the two dice here, and you get a 11. So it's a fielder's choice, but it could be an error. So Gedman is going to go to third to try to get Ripken out. If he rolls anything higher than a 51, 66 is the highest you can get, it will be an error, and it's not. So he did get the lead runner. The sacrifice did not work. Okay, here's Benny Ayala, and that's just going to be a strikeout. And now there are 2 down, and Rich Dower is up, and that's going to be a ground ball to the second baseman. So we go to the bottom of the second. Oil Can, yeah, he got credited for earned runs. Again, there were no errors in that inning, so I don't even know why I'm considering that. Okay, the Baltimore, they had 95 wins that year. They came in first place in, actually this is Boston. Boston had 95 wins. They came in first place. So Eddie Murray, great fielding first baseman. Rich Dempsey, great catcher. Scott McGregor, 18-7 that year. Marty Baird is up. That's going to be it's going to be depending on the ballpark effects, and you can see Fenway It's very easy to get hits in Fenway, so that's, no matter what happens, that's going to be a base hit. Okay, Barrett is on now. Boggs is up. Boggs is a good bunter, but I think you could also go for a hit and run here. I'm sure Boggs, this is his hit and run ratings down here. We'll just do a hit and run and see what happens. Okay, it's a 20. Ground ball to the second baseman, and what happens depends on the defense of Dower. The smaller the number, the better. So if this had been a 1, then practically all the numbers he would have gotten the out at second. Otherwise, he just gets the runner, the batter, at first. It's going to be more likely that he won't be able to get the lead runner, and he doesn't. So the hit and run did move Barrett over, and now we've got 1 out, Buckner up. Buckner is going to ground out to the second baseman. He moves the runner over to third, 2 out, and Jim Rice is up. Hit 20 home runs that year, 324 batting average, and he's going to strike out. Oh no, he's going to pop out. The McGregor, these numbers are all high, and these are kind of his strikeout numbers. If you had 1s and 2s, it would be more likely he would strike out people, but he had a 4 added to Rice's 4. Normally, if you have a 1 or 2, that would have been a 2 to 6 strikeout. You can see it's kind of grayed out, but because he doesn't strike out a lot of hitters, it totaled 8, which is a pop out instead. Okay, we go to the top of the second. Todd Cruz is up, hitting 208, and there is an example of how easy it is to get a hit at Fenway. So he gets a single. Rich Dempsey is up. He's a great bunter. We'll let him bunt, nobody out. Well, I'm not controlling Baltimore, so I don't know what they're going to do. Now they're going to let him swing away. It's a deep fly to right, but Dwight Evans is able to get it. Now you can see they've moved to halfway, so they're going to try to get a double play here with Shelby, and that is going to be a fly out to center field on the hit and run chart. And there is now this is a chart that if you get the computer game, you can look it up. It comes as a PDF, so you could have it if you wanted it, but this just tells you what happened. And but it's a great hit and run system, so it's not just some simple cut and dried cookie cutter thing. And now here's Dan Ford, who got a base hit last time, but this time he grounds out Boggs over to Buckner. And we go to the bottom of the second, and Don Baylor is up, 36 years old, 31 home runs. Let's see what Baylor does. Right-handed hitter against lefty McGregor, and that's going to be a double to right field. Now we've got Tony Armas. Tony Armas, 32 years old, only hit 11 home runs that year, and that's going to be a sharp grounder to Murray. He moves the runner over to third with only 1 out. Rich Gedman, 258 hit that year. Boy, see, he's a real double play machine. All these 1s, everything here except the 11 would be a double play. 11 would be a potential error on the fielder, and the 35 over here is a double play. Don't have to worry about it though, but it is a this could be a home run. This is the power column, an 8 plus a 4. That it was the worst number that McGregor could have given up here. I mean, worse for McGregor, the best for Gedman. So now 6-sided die rolls. If it's a 5 or a 6, most likely it'll be a home run, but if it's even a 2 or higher, it could possibly be a home run. It's a 3. Okay, now you got to roll again, a 6-sided die. If it's a 6, it's a home run, but going to hit a run in. It's going to drive a run in. So Gedman, at worst, gets a single out of it. RBI, here's Dwight Evans, 26 home runs. And Dwight he's not horrible at hitting into double plays. He's an average bunter. We'll let him swing away. And this is going to be one of those, oh, normally this would be that thing where it goes off your glove because you're playing halfway, but Murray is so good, he's a 1, that he is able to get the runner at first. So it's not a hit. That's an example of defense saving, I guess, the pitcher. Ray Keonis, I'm sure that's how you pronounce it, line out to right field. Okay. Top of the third. This shows Oil Can Boyd has 18 more batters he can face, but this one up here indicates that he would probably be able to go a little bit longer and maybe get a complete game. Okay, there's a single for Ripken, who hit .318 that year. Now here's Eddie Murray, who hits into a fair amount of double plays, but the computer is controlling Baltimore, and the programming and the AI is really brilliant. So, okay, that just barely, if that would have been a 4, it would have been a 16, a double or a triple, depending on what the hitter normally does, but it's a 15 line out to second base. So Boyd prevented the extra base hit. Here's Ken Singleton. It's a lefty-righty matchup, but it's a strikeout. Because, and if you remember what I was saying earlier, Boyd has better strikeout numbers. He had a 2. He has a 2 here, whereas McGregor, in the instance that I talked about earlier, had a 4. So if it had been a 4, it would have been a pop out, but it's only a 2, so it is a strikeout. Now we have 2 out. Benny Ayala, who doesn't hit very much. Okay, there's a looping drive to left, and it's a hitter's park, so there's a 2/3 chance it'll be a hit, and it is. Ripken probably go over to third, and if you had the board game, you'd have to be looking at the charts, but it's a direct port. Okay, now here's Rich Dower. They got to get Dower out. Come on, Oil Can. And that's going to be a deep fly to right, but it stays in the park. So that's the 3rd out. Now we're to the bottom of the 3rd. Marty Barrett is up again. He singled last time. Going to be a short fly to left this time. 2-1 game. Wade Boggs is up. Let's see what Wade can do. 27 years old this season. This is going to be a bunt down the line. Now, the computer's going to roll 2 6-sided die, and both of them have to be higher than 2. Cruz is above average fielder, so it's easier for him to field this bunt and get the out, but it's never easy. But he does. Okay, see, he rolled 2 die. They're both higher than 2, and Boggs is foiled in his bunt attempt. 2 out. Buckner is up, and that's going to be a pop out. So you see, McGregor had that higher. He didn't have a 2. If he would have had a 2, well, I guess he would have had to have a 1, because Buckner doesn't strike out very much in order to strike him out. So we go to the top of the 4th. Todd Cruz. I keep wanting to say Ted Cruz. Okay, that could be a home run. Todd hit 3, but Oil Can kind of gives up a lot of home runs, so we'll have to do this ballpark effect. And ooh, that's just going to be a home run. And it's a 3-1 game. Okay, Rick Dempsey is up. That could be a home run too. The 6th column is your power column, and Oil Can gave up a lot of home runs. Dempsey is not a great hitter, but Oil Can just puts it right over the plate. So once again, it's a home run. And it's a 4-1 lead now. Oil Can is probably going to get this early hook thing pretty soon. There's going to be a line drive to right field. He may try to go for extra bases. Dwight Evans is a good fielder. It's going to have to be a 5 or a 6, and it's not, so he holds him at first. Now here's this early hook base runner. So now if he gives up another hit or walk, he's going to get into this early hook situation. and then he goes to really his worst. He goes to these B ratings, which they're all the worst numbers, kind of even like a 5 is worse than anything he has in the 3 column. So Ford is going to ground out in the fielder's choice. So he's got to get everybody out, and there were no outs. Otherwise, he's going to have this problem here with, okay, this is going to be a ground force, possible double play. We'll see what the pivot man, they have a pivot man chart here, and Quinones is good, so if it's anything but a 1 or a 2, it'll, or no, I'm sorry, it's the opposite. He's not good. So it's going to have to be a 1 or 2 to get a double play. It's not, so, but it's a force out, fielder's choice. So he still doesn't have this early hook situation happen. Okay, now here's Eddie Murray, a righty-lefty situation, but he gets out of it, pop out to second base, and now you'll see it'll say he got through it, so he won't get any more early hook situations. I think it'll say it. Well, I guess it didn't say it, but I think that's what happens. Ripken ground out, or to Ripken. Jim Rice, here's Baylor. This could be a home run. Well, it won't. It'll if he rolls a 1 out of a 6-sided die roll. No, it's the base hit. Okay, got a base hit. He is average speed. I thought he'd be worse than that. Tony Armas hits into a lot of double plays, but we got to get going here, and he hits into a double play. Okay, well that's it for that. Boyd has 7 more batters he can face. McGregor has 14, but that's because Boyd has given up 10 hits, no walks, but 10 hits. There's a ground out for Singleton to Buckner, and that is unassisted ground out. Here's Ayala, and it's going to get a base hit, I think. Yeah, he gets a base hit. Ballpark effect. Okay, now, I guess, I thought he got out of it, but anyway, here's the early hook base runner situation, so he's back in it. So he's got to get 2 outs. Oh, and that's not an out, that's an infield single, possibly an error on Gedman. So his hurry-up throw may be wild. If it's a 52 or higher, it will be wild. It's not. But here's the early, yeah, I guess he would have had to actually go into B ratings and then try to get out of it for the situation where he wouldn't be affected by it anymore. So he will go to his B ratings, so you'll see what that looks like. Okay, now he's only these ratings. These are the worst. These are even worse than any of his worst ratings. So if he can get 2 more outs, then it's possible. You'll see what happens if he. So this could be an error on Barrett. 11. Barrett is really good at not committing errors, so it's going to have to be a 55 or higher, and it's not an error. So there's 2 out. And now here's Dempsey. If we get this out, and that's going to be a fly out to center. Okay, now you'll see what happens here. They do a check, and this little gray box here indicates it's light gray. That means that the 6-sided die has to be above a 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Then there's another pitcher may have a little darker gray, and then I think you have to get above a 2, and then there's one that's really almost black, and then you have to get above a 3. But the computer rolled a 2, but it only had to be above a 1, so now he's back to A grades, his good ratings, and it's not subject to any further early hook checks. Okay, and you can see that McGregor has a little darker box. It's all explained in the rules. You can go to help over here and see it all, but I think that would mean he'd have to roll above a 2 on a 6-sided die to recover from the early hook challenge. Okay, here's Gedman. They're down by 3 runs. Need to get something going. Here's an infield hit, and we get the base action chart. McGregor, you can see wild pitch rating of 6, so he's not going to have a wild pitch, and that's what it comes up to. But you can see it. The highest, it's a 6-sided dice, so he's not going to do that. Okay, Evans has grounded out in his first at bat. We'll let him swing away here, and that's going to be, this could be a rare play. So if it's a 1, it could be a foul out. Here, it'll be the 6-sided die here. 1, a foul out. A even number, 2, 4, 6, then they'll be challenging Evans with his running speed, and if it's a 3 or a 5, it'll be a rare play. Okay, it's an even number, so dribbler to the mound, and it'll be based on, oh, they're going to go to try to get Evans out at second. He's a slower runner, so, oh, but it had to be above a 2, so they tried to get the lead runner, and it didn't work. Okay, now there's something going here. No out. Quiones is up. I think we'll have him sacrifice because it's still kind of early in the game, and it's a successful sacrifice. He's got a 2, so he was above average. Okay, now we've got Marty Barrett up with runners on second and third. Barrett has got a base hit his first at bat. Then he flew out to left. Okay, Barrett, that's going to be the same situation here that we just had. So it was a 1, so now it could possibly be a foul out, but Fenway has such small foul territory that it's never a foul out. It's always going to be a foul ball. So he gets another chance. Barrett is up again, and this is going to be a ground out. Pitcher is going to get the ball and tag the base runner, but it does drive in a run. So now it's 2-run deficit. Wade Boggs is up with Dwight Evans on third. It's going to be the same thing. This will be, they're probably going to, since there are 2 out, they're going to just try to throw Boggs out at first, but he's a 3 at running, so they're going to have to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to get him out, and they roll a 2 so they don't get him out. Boggs legs it out, and he brings in the 3rd run. Here's Buckner now. Buckner is 0 for 2, and it's the same thing. It's a 57. So this will be, they're going to try to throw Buckner out at first. He's slower, and he is thrown out. Anyway, the Red Sox draw within 1 run. Top of the 6th, Shelby is up. He's 2 for 2, and Barrett is such a good defender that he was able to make the play a worse defender probably would not have. Okay, here's Dan Ford. Dan Ford, if Oil Can would have had a 4 up here, that would have been a 34, which would have been a double, but he had a 3, which kept the total at 33, so it's a line out to center field. Way to go, Oil Can. Now Oil Can is kind of down. He's reached his limit, but they let you continue on till the inning is over as long as you don't give up a hit or a walk. So he could go 7 more. You can see how that has turned orange. Ripken is up. That's going to be a double, so he's going to be out of gas. And you'll see now he goes to his B ratings. So we're going to have to bring in a relief pitcher. It's the 6th inning, and you can see it conveniently. It shows you kind of what innings they would recommend. You've got all these pitchers, and Lawler is not so good. So I think we'll bring in Sammy Stewart. Yeah, we'll bring in Sammy. He walks a lot of runners, but okay. So here is Eddie Murray, and Eddie Murray is going to get walked, so he walks a lot of batters. Ken Singleton is up. We've got this base action thing, and he's terrible at wild pitches. He's a 0, so it will be a wild pitch. Sammy throws a wild pitch, and now 2 out, but the runners are both in scoring position. I think we're going to walk Singleton, and then we'll get Ayala up, and Ayala will be a righty against righty situation. So Ayala strikes out. Okay, so brilliant managing on my part. Bottom of the 6th, Jim Rice is up, and he's going to ground out, pitcher to first. Here's Baylor. Baylor is, oh, normally this would be an extra base hit, a 19, but Murray is so good that now there's a 2/3 chance Baylor will get on, but you got to roll a 1 or a 6 and he doesn't. So he didn't get on. Now here's Armas. This is going to be, he's going to maybe stretch this into an extra base hit, but Ford is pretty good out there. So he cuts it off. Okay, but Gedman is up now with 2 outs. Gedman has gotten hits both times up. This is going to be a ground ball. I thought it was going to be a walk, but McGregor doesn't, he's got all these ones. He doesn't walk hardly anybody, so he's unlike Sammy here, who's got all 5s. Okay, 7th inning. Sammy will stay on. Dower, that's going to be ground out to the second baseman. Here's Todd Cruz, who has singled and homered, 2 for 3 in this game, and that's going to be a base hit. Oh no, a walk, because he walks so many. It's got a W here. And now Cruz is going to try to steal, and he's just going to go for it. And he'll be stealing against Gedman, who's great, and Stewart, who's average. So it's going to be hard for him to steal successfully. Yeah, he's going to have to roll a 47 or higher, and he rolls a 13, so he's caught stealing. Lucky break. Now we've got 2 out. Stewart can face 8 more. He can go a long way. This is middle relief, but there's going to be another walk. How many walks has this guy given up? 4th walk in 1 inning. And now here's the wild pitch thing again. Okay, this, oh, pass ball. Well, this is good. At least Gedman is average, and it's not a passed ball because he is better at that. Stewart threw 63 innings and walked 48. He walked more than he struck out. From Asheville, North Carolina. Okay, here is Shelby. Shelby is 2 for 3, and he's going to pop out. Okay, so we go now to the bottom of the 7th. Dwight Evans is up. McGregor can throw to 4 more batters, and then even more possibly. This is going to be a fly to Ayala. We'll see if he's good enough to catch it. Again, this is a hitter's park, so it's going to be very hard to avoid all these base hits. Evans is on, and Keonis is up. We'll have him bunt. He sacrificed last time successfully, and it's bunted to the pitcher, who's pretty good, but it's a successful sacrifice. Now we are going to, this is normal for base running tactics. We're going to change it to go for it. You can also have it be safe if you were, for instance, behind in the 9th inning or something by more than 1 run and you didn't want to have a stupid play. So, but he's going to go for it. He's only average, but we'd like to see if he can get in on a base hit. So Barrett is up. Barrett is 1 for 3. Oh, just barely a double. If McGregor would have had this 2 up here, it would have been a line out. But it was a 3. A 3 plus 31 is 34, double to center field. And now it's a tie game. It's getting close and exciting. Wade Boggs is up. 1 out. McGregor can face 1 more hitter, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, they walk him. I don't know if this will count. You know, that doesn't count as a batter faced, I guess, when you intentionally walk somebody. Okay, Buckner is up. Lefty against lefty. He hits into a lot of double plays. Let's try hit and run. Buckner should be able to handle this. It's a 1. Ground out to first base, but he does move him over. He stayed out of the double play. Okay, they had the runners moving. So McGregor is not going to get a complete game check here. He's just going to go right into possibly running out of gas. This is going to be a ground out. So now it's the 8th inning. Stewart could keep going, but he doesn't give up a lot of home runs. Who could we bring in the 8th inning? We could bring in Crawford. Steve Crawford. He's pretty good. And we've got all these people up here. So let's bring in Crawford. Crawford pitches to Ford. There's a fly to Evans. Again, it's tough to avoid the base hits, but Evans is better than normal, so a 1 or 2, but it's a 6, so it is going to be a base hit. So we've got a runner on, nobody out. Ripken up. Ripken is going to make, it won't be a home run, I don't think, but it's going to be a base hit. So Crawford is in trouble. 8th inning. I don't know. Schiraldi was really good, wasn't he, that year? Schiraldi. Let's bring Schiraldi in. Calvin Schiraldi. When did he come in? He debuted in '84. 6'5". Murray up. Murray. Fly ball to Rice. It's going to be tough. Base hit. Will Ford try to score? No, they're going to hold him. Hold him at third. You can see the infield is in now. Singleton is up. And ball hit to the first baseman. Hard grounder. The runner forced it home because they were playing in. Okay, 1 out. They're going to continue to play in. Ayala is up. Ayala. Oh, they're going to pinch hit Lowenstein for Ayala. Okay. And that's going to be a single to the shortstop. The batter is going to miss the next game. They were playing in, so I think that screwed it up. They maybe could have had a double play. Probably should have played him halfway. So it's probably my mistake here. Now they're down by 2. Dower is up. That's going to be a line out because Schiraldi's so good. We'll see what Singleton is only a 1. He's a terrible base runner. So because of his bad speed, and Evans has a great arm, most likely he's going to hold. And he does. Okay, so at least that was not a sacrifice fly. Here's Todd Cruz. He's going to strike out. Okay, so Boston has to get 2 runs in to tie. They bring in Tippy Martinez and bring Bumbry into left field. Baylor strikes out. And Armas going to ground out. And Gedman. This could be an error on Cruz here. We'll see. He commits a lot of errors. So Gedman is on. 2 out. They don't really have any other. Oh, they've got Sullivan. We'll have Spike Owen run for Gedman, and we've got, because we need to get something going here. But that's going to be a strikeout, so wasted opportunity there. We'll have to bring Mark Sullivan in to be the catcher. Dempsey is up. Dribbler to the catcher. He's out. Shelby is up. He strikes out. And Dan Ford going to fly out. Okay, it all comes down to bottom of the 9th. Quiones. We're going to get a better hitter in. Mike, well, we'll have Romine get a righty-lefty matchup here. And he's going to strike out. Tippy Martinez, 21 saves in 1983. Marty Barrett strikes out. All down to Wade Boggs, who has 1 hit. Wade gets a hit. Okay, now I'm going to change this to safe because 1 run is not going to win the game, and we don't want him doing. anything foolish. Tippy Martinez is down one more hitter, and he's in trouble. Buckner, lefty. I don't really have better options, so Buckner is going to strike out to end the ball game. So that's it from Fenway in this Diamond Decades example. And you can see Cal Ripken was the most valuable player. Ripken was 4 for 5. So this is Lefty Dad signing off. If you like this, please give me a like. Have any comments, let me know. Glad to get them. Otherwise, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe.